Deja vu, it's raining at Briarworks for the 2026 Muletown Pipe Show. So I decided to do something a little different this year. Rather than a lather, rinse, repeat of all the tables at the pipe show, I mean, you can see that from last year's video. I had an opportunity to video Jeremy Reeves as kind of the guest speaker at the event. And if it's a little wobbly, please forgive me. I kind of stood up on my tippy toes and kind of held it at arm's length to get over the heads of the people in the crowd. So hope you enjoy it.
Hey everybody, got a nice little crowd of people right around here. I don't know how far back you can hear us, but we're gonna do a little discussion this year. We changed it up. Normally, every year we have our friend Jeremy Reeves from Cornell and Diehl do a tobacco blending demo, and to be quite honest, if you pay attention to anything, this guy's very busy. Cornell and Diehl has been very, very busy. And it made a lot more sense this year to just do something a little different and change it up. And this is the 6th year of this show. And every year we have done a Muletown mixture and some sort of variation of that. And so we thought it would be kind of fun to just talk about how this all started, how we kind of progressively have changed things over the years, and where we're at now with this year's Muletown mixture. First off, everybody that doesn't already know, I'm sure you do, say hey to Jeremy Reeves. And I'm Pete, by the way. So, first off, if you don't know Jeremy's the head blender at Cornell and Diehl Tobacco, which is, in my opinion, and I think a lot of people's opinions, like the best pipe tobacco brand and company out there. I mean, the attention to detail, care, quality, tobacco sourcing, everything that these guys do is incredible. They don't put out anything that I dislike personally. Everything that this guy creates is like blows me away and is just amazing quality. And it's really, really cool that these guys are continuing to grow our industry, our hobby, with new creative tobaccos and quality, not just in straight blends, but in aromatics. It's hard, for some people like myself that don't smoke very many aromatics. It's nice to actually get to enjoy them sometimes because they do a really good job with how they make their aromatics. So let me take it back, Jeremy. Back in 2018, that is when we moved into this building and moved our whole factory from Nashville down here to Columbia. So in 2018, we were gonna have our grand opening, which was September 1st of 2018. And I have so much respect for Jeremy and what they do, and I was like, I don't know if he would want to do this, but I called him up and I was like, would you consider coming to our grand opening and do a blending demo? Had you done one of those before?
It was the first time.
Yeah.
It was the first time I'd done that, and I loved what Briarworks was doing, and I loved that there was going to be a full-fledged pipe tobacco factory of this scale in the United States again. It was really cool to be able to, we started making our blends in 2015. It was really cool to be able to come and see the new space and be part of the grand opening for that.
Yeah, you can close.
And then it's also just sort of cool to be able to think about, okay, how can I take something that might just be my everyday thing, but present it to people in a way that they've never seen it. The same way that when you give tours of your factory, a lot of people have never seen that process. So I came up with a blend that was unique to the event and called it 511 North Main in honor of the new space.
And I don't know if you had planned this or not, but it felt like it was an off the cuff thing when you said, because someone asked, he did the blending demo, and someone said, what's the name of this blend, which we had never discussed, and you just rattled off 511 North Main.
Maybe that's true. You might have that one right.
Maybe you had it planned, but it felt like it was off the cuff, and it was incredible.
It probably was. That was many years ago.
Yeah. So, talk a little bit about because everything has been a little bit of a sort of variation of that original blend. So talk a little bit about that original blend real quick, just kind of what made up that original blend.
So I felt like a Virginia Perique would be a good idea, but maybe on the nose. And I feel like a lot of straight Virginias, including ones that Cornell and Diehl makes, are like one or two components blended together. So I took it as an opportunity to use a lot of different variations on the Virginia theme, including some things that have been steamed and gone through sort of a casing process. But it was all based on majority Canadian bright Virginia. So just a very straightforward citrus, kind of sweet tobacco, but then small quantities of these other richer components. The Perique, I decided not even to let it be enough to play a role in the flavor. So I really just wanted the Perique there almost to be sort of like a sourdough starter. Perique is great for fermentation in a tin because it itself is such a deeply fermented product. And so I just put a tiny amount. Probably would not taste it, but undoubtedly over time it has made a difference in the way that blend is aged. So did that for the first 2 years, because the next year was the first time that you guys did.
Yeah, so the next year, 2019, was our first Muletown pipe show. And we started discussing an idea of having him do that blending demo again. And that time we actually did a 21610 production run of Muletown mixture of that original blend.
Yep. So, it went from being just the new address to being the name of the show.
Yeah.
And as you guys had sort of dug in and become part of Columbia, it was really important to you to showcase things about the area in the way that your brand interacted with the town. And so naming the show Muletown was sort of a nod to the history of the region and of Columbia itself. It started off just being that 511 North Main blend again, and then let's see, where was it? It started out just being that 511 North Main blend, renamed as Muletown, but then 2020.
Yeah, so we skipped COVID.
2020 and 21, right?
And 21. And then we came back with the second Muletown show in 2022. And so that year is when we did Hay Bell.
Right. So took the blend, tweaked some of the proportions slightly, increased the Perique a little bit, and pressed it into a crumble cake. Really cool how minor variations like that can really change the same tobacco mixture.
Yeah.
And so the crumble cake kind of gave you something that was going to ferment a little more deeply than just the straight ribbon.
Yeah.
And then the year after that was when we took that same recipe and did a flake version.
The Hay Bell slices.
Yeah.
And I can't remember, did you end up doing a little more, Perique, or was that just when you did the Hay Bell? because I feel like we added some more Perique into it.
We did. We increased the Brique slightly in hay bale. We
That's
increased
right.
it more in the flake.
Yeah.
And there again, I think you've got a just progressive, more and more rich, more and more deep sort of flavor that we've been building.
And so now, the 25 show.
We did Smoky Mountain.
Smoky Mountain. That's where we really sort of started to depart a little bit more even, and you leaned into the dark fire, and that stuff was fantastic.
I was really happy with it. I feel like it's so cool to have this ongoing relationship with this blend idea that we keep sort of riffing on in different ways, and it's really neat how many variations there are to sort of play with. But this year, I think is the biggest departure.
It really is, and I'll tell you a little story about that one. So this one's pretty special for us. We love being here in Columbia. Obviously, this pipe show has become a big part of who we are. So this year, I'm scrambling because I'm not a tobacco blender. I've said that up here many times. I know nothing about tobacco blending. I like it. I enjoy it. I like to smoke the things that Jeremy creates. I'll throw some ideas out and we'll discuss. But this guy gets all the credit for making it happen. But this year, I was scrambling. I was just like, what are we going to do to change this up and keep it interesting? And something popped into my head. So if you don't know, this area, there's still some tobacco grown in this area, but this was a very, very prominent tobacco growing area. And Burley was a big part of that. And when we first started looking at Columbia to move down here, in 2017, I drove down here and started driving around town looking for a building. And I drove past around the square. There used to be this building that was the Murray County Tobacco Warehouse number 3. And it was this big metal shed building. And I just thought it was so cool. There was another tobacco warehouse that used to be up off of Garden Street over here. And I just remember when I saw that building, I took a picture of it that day because I just thought it was neat and it looked cool. And when I was thinking about the blend this year, I was thinking about, man, this city has grown a lot since we've been here. And I get it, progress and all that, but that empty building got torn down a few years ago. And now there's some giant condos getting built over there. And, that's going to be good for business and good for the city and all, but it's still sad to lose a little piece of history there. And so I looked back and I searched through my pictures and I found that picture, and I'd never noticed at the top of the building above where it said Murray County Tobacco Warehouse number 3, it said Old House on top. And so I thought, man, Old House number 3, that's kind of catchy. And so I called up Jeremy and I said, so I was thinking, if you were down, maybe we could lean into Burley a little more this year. And this might sound kind of dumb, let me know, but what do you think about the name Old House number 3? And Jeremy actually surprisingly backed me up on it.
I loved it. I thought it was a really cool idea. And of course, Cornell and Diehl relishes working with Burley. I think a lot of the tobacco that we use comes from Tennessee and Kentucky for a reason. It's because it's special tobacco to us. And I happen to have some things squirreled away for a rainy day that it's feasible could have been stored at one point in Old Tobacco House number 3. Just because of the age of them. I've got a 2008 Green River Burley, no longer exists. Green River as a growing region is no longer kept distinct, but this stuff is 18 years old. I've got some tobacco that is from 2016, some Kentucky Dark Burley, and then also a Tennessee White Burley from 2014. So it's kind of fun to take this same base, but mess around with some of the darker components and lighter components, swapping in burly for portions of them.
Yeah, I'm so happy with how it turned out. We did sell out of it. I hope that a lot of you were able to get some of it, and if you weren't, find somebody, meet somebody this weekend that's willing to pop a tin and share it with you, because to be honest, the stuff is incredible. And another thing that we didn't discuss is the aromatic aspect, but it's very subtle. The tin note is incredible on this stuff. And you added a little vanilla and cocoa and molasses, correct?
That's right. I never want to cover up the tobacco. That's never the point when I'm making a topping. I want to accentuate things that the tobacco has. But especially with old things like this, kind of trying to pay homage, it made sense to me to do something very old school, traditional pacing style on this burley, and just kick up the sweetness a touch.
Yeah.
So,
and a lot of it comes. The room note is the tin note is amazing on it. But if you haven't tried it yet and you get a chance to try it, if you don't really like aromatics, I think you still should try it, because I think you would actually enjoy it. Because again, we're not talking like typical aromatic here. It's
not goopy.
No, it's just like he said. It accentuates a lot of the quality tobaccos that he's put into it. So, anyways, I don't know. I don't have anything else to add to that.
Well, I think it was an awesome idea, and I'm really grateful to you and to the guys at the shop to always include us in this. And yeah, it's been special to do this with y'all and be sort of partnered in this event.
Well, thank you, Jeremy, and thank you to all of you that have supported us and supported this show. We really appreciate it so much. I mean, I know with this many people in a room that doesn't have air conditioning, it's a little brutal today. Fortunately, I guess maybe a little rain coming in is not a bad thing today to cool things down. But I just want to thank you guys from all of us at Briarworks here so much for coming and supporting this show. I mean, our numbers are, as far as people coming, grew this year even more, believe it or not. And we're just like, I don't know where they're going to all fit, but like, I don't want to turn anybody away if we don't have to, because I think there's an atmosphere and something special about this show that, like, it's not us, it's all of you guys, and it's all the people that come to the show that are friendly and caring about each other and are sharing with each other, and like, it's the camaraderie and the community, and that's why we do the show.
It's what pipe smoking has always been to me, and what the tobacco hobby in general is. People being people to each other.
Yep. So, thank you to all of you. Thank you, Jeremy. And enjoy the rest of the day. We'll be open till 5 here today. And so, have a good time. We'll talk to you in a little bit.
So it's day 2 of the show. Probably the best part, and the best part of every pipe show, is just the people you meet, the people you get to share time with. Make it out next year, 2027. And until then, stay smoky, stay safe, stay blessed.